Good morning, everybody. It's August the 6th, sort of a cloudy, foggy, muggy day here. About 20 degrees early in the morning, but quite humid. We could use a little more humid, actually, I guess. Shouldn't be complaining about all the good weather, but it's been 5 or 6 weeks since we've had any really good rain, and I'm on my own well. And I managed to pump it dry a couple of nights ago. It recovers after a few hours, and I have water to use, but I have to be very careful. So the outside gardens are on their own now, and I'm still trying to keep everything watered here in the hoop house. And eventually we'll get rain, and I'll complain because we got so much rain. But anyway, I just thought I'd take a few minutes here and show you a few things inside the hoop house, trying not to make this too long of a video, but things in here are growing quite nicely, so I'll give you a few shots of things here. You can see down there, that's my corn, and it has gone, some of it up, touching the roof. In the center of the roof here is 8 feet tall. That's off to the side a bit, so I suppose that corn's got to be over 6 feet tall. And also it's in a raised bed. It's about 10 inches off the ground to begin with, but it's tasseled and it has the silks on some of the ears of corn, and I walk by several times a day and tap on it to make sure that it's dropping some pollen. So hopefully going to produce some ears of corn. Disappointing the local raccoon population. I close this place up every night so they can't get in. So far they haven't come in through the side walls. It's heavy plastic. I'm hoping they don't come in through the side walls, but we have an absolute plague of the things here. About a kilometer or two from my house on the road one evening here last week, I saw 7 raccoons, a family of 6, and then a little bit further on another one all by himself. So we're overrun with the things. Here are the cucumber plants. The variety is called Tasty Green. I just got this trellis made out of chicken wire rigged up about a week ago or 10 days ago, and already they've gone to the top. Lots of blossoms down in here. I guess you can see some of the blossoms. And the bees are getting in here, the bumblebees, so they're getting pollinated and starting to get lots of small cucumbers. A couple of plants that are outside in the garden have started to produce cucumbers, which got me going back to the seed packet and the seed catalog, and I got just what I asked for. I got Tasty Green, but I thought I was buying a pickling cucumber, and it isn't. It's what they call a burpless cucumber. It will have seeds, but it's quite similar to those things that we call English cucumbers. I like them very much, the ones that you find in supermarkets that are always shrunk wrapped in plastic for some reason. Anyway, so I won't be making pickles out of these. I have 6 plants in here and 2 out in the garden, and what I'm going to do with all these cucumbers, I'll have to start giving cucumbers away, I guess, but looks like I'm going to have to buy pickling cucumbers if I'm going to make pickles this year. I'm not having much luck at all this year with tomatoes. As you remember from some of my earlier videos, I'm growing 7 different varieties, all indeterminates, and just 1 plant of each down the center of this particular bed. This is about the best of my produce so far, and that's called beefsteak, which should be a much bigger cucumber than it is. Not cucumber, you're right, much bigger tomato than it is. A lot of the plants have still just got very small fruit on them. I was pruning them quite heavily, and I don't know, that might be the problem. Anyway, I topped them off so they can't grow any taller, and I've stopped pruning. The newer foliage that's coming out is looking better. There's a lot, as you can see, a lot of leaf curl on the older foliage. So I don't know what I've done wrong. A whole collection of things, I guess, but I'm really not getting a very good tomato crop this year. At least not so far. I was hoping by August to have more ripe tomatoes. I think I've had 2 so far, and there's 3 or 4 more there that are starting to ripen. I'm having a bit better luck with peppers, although this particular one is having difficulty setting fruit. That's the Artichoke, the one that a friend from Puerto Rico sent me the seed. It's a lovely big plant, 3 feet tall. It started to bloom maybe 2 weeks ago, and so far I'm not so sure that it's successfully set any fruit. I'm shaking it, I'm brushing the blossoms back and forth, and I have the door open all day, so wild pollinators can get in here, so I'm hoping to see some artichoke before the season's over with. Anyway, it's a beautiful plant, Maria. I'll send you a link to this. Well, this is for you, Brendan, in Northern Ireland. I want to encourage you to try to grow another green pepper next year when hopefully you're going to have a sunny, warm summer. Just like you, I've had great difficulty growing the things in the past. I've managed to grow these rather small, shriveled, very bitter things that nobody would want to eat. I have 9 different varieties of peppers in here this year. I don't know, 4 or 5 of them are various kinds of hot peppers and 2 or 3 different kinds of sweet peppers. This particular one is called Fat and Sassy, and it's for a short season like I have here. It's from my favorite seed company, Vessey's. I've had 3 or 4 off of it already. I've got 3 plants of it. I've had 3 or 4 of them already, and as you can see, they are developing quite nicely. I'm trying to leave 1 or 2 to ripen, turn into a red pepper to see what they're like when they're ripe and sweet. But finally, I've been able to grow a green pepper, a sweet pepper. Well, it's been a while since I've mentioned my 2 fig trees. No figs yet. This is the one that overwintered here in the hoop house, and some of it came from very low down on the tree, shrub, whatever, and the rest of it came up from the roots. It's now, I don't know, the tallest piece there is probably over 2 feet tall. I don't know whether I can expect to get anything off it this year or not. I'm hoping that it will fare better this winter because it's been in here all summer, and it will probably harden off better than it did last fall. I didn't get it in here until late August, and it thought summer had begun again, put on so much fresh growth. The one that I overwintered in the house and transplanted in the ground is behind me here. I won't bother to show it to you. It's just slightly taller, but it's looking very good too. Well, if you watched the clip earlier on the sugar baby watermelon, this is the same one that I weighed, and it weighed, what, 1 pound 11 ounces at the time. I haven't got my scales out here with me this morning, but it's increased again in size. I wouldn't be surprised if it now goes 2.5 pounds or so. And the seed packet said that mature is 6 to 8 pounds, so we've got a ways to go. Frida in Southern California, and I started this little competition, and a few other people have joined in just to see who can grow the largest sugar baby for the fun of it. Hers are growing outside in her Southern California garden, and so far hers are just starting to bloom, but her leaves are easily 2 or 3 times the size of the leaves that I've got here in the hoop house. And I don't know, that may have something to do with the fact that mine are growing in smart pots with limited root space, so I don't know what I can hope for as far as size goes. I'm also growing cantaloupe, varieties called Early Champ, and they're really starting to push up in size. The seed packet doesn't give any indication of how big they are when they're ripe, but of course a cantaloupe turns brown when it's ripe, so however big it is at the time, I guess that's it. But I get my hand in there to give you some idea of the size of this. I have 3 or 4 that size. I was hand pollinating, and I have stopped. If anything else gets pollinated, it'll be from natural pollinators. I suspect that too many fruit on the vines here in these grow pot containers wouldn't be good. They wouldn't get a chance to all develop. So I'm here in the corn jungle, but just to close this off, give you a little look at my cachofe, my artichoke. Still no sign of an artichoke coming up out of the center or anything, but the plant has done very well. And if it doesn't do anything, even if it does do something, I'm going to take the container in the basement and try to overwinter it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll get this up on the internet.